Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And just before I start on mine, I'd like to thank the member for Liverpool. As a fellow allied health professional, I think it is very important that we have the highest quality students come through, and they can be from all walks of socio-economic life. So it is a very important issue. And I rise today to speak on another important issue that has become one of the greatest barriers to economic growth, workforce participation and family life across regional New South Wales. And that is the shortage of childcare facilities throughout the Macleay, Nambucca and Ballinger valleys. And this is simply not about convenience for parents. It is about whether regional communities have the workforce capacity to sustain hospitals, schools, small businesses and essential services. It is about whether young families can build a future in regional New South Wales. We need skilled people in our country areas. And when governments talk about regional development, they often focus on roads, bridges, rail, telecommunications, and they overlook childcare, education and care. Independent analysis has identified communities across Kempsey and Nambucca as one of the most undersupplied childcare markets in New South Wales. More than 5 children are competing for every available childcare space. And I'll say that again, that's 5 for every space, while over 80% of these communities are classified as significantly underserviced. Higher educated to child ratios combined with greater operating costs mean many providers simply cannot afford to offer places for children under 2 years without additional government support. And because of this, across large parts of the Mid-North Coast, families seeking care for children aged between 0 and 2 are routinely facing waiting periods of 2 to 3 years before a place becomes available. And I do recognise that it is a federally funded area, but there are areas that the state government can help with. And I think that if I bring up a case from my local area of Kempsey where we had a teacher currently on maternity leave with twin girls, and she's someone who knows the system. She made every effort to secure childcare well in advance. She placed her daughters on waiting lists when she was only 6 weeks pregnant. Okay, 6 weeks pregnant. She still cannot get a single day of childcare, not one. I recognise this because I brought some physiotherapists to the Macleay, and these are highly professional women that we want in our regions. They brought with them a doctor as a husband and an engineer. Highly qualified people coming into the Macleay. They're now both long-term residents of Macleay, and we have sourced a solution, but we only saw a solution losing many days of professional work per week. My wife, as an RN, she had to contribute, and the 2 ladies and obviously the husbands all contributed. So we lost professional days per week because we couldn't obtain childcare. And the lady that I'm talking about, the teacher, after contacting multiple childcare providers, she was told there would be likely no availability until 2027. One provider even suggested she should have registered 3 or 4 years before becoming pregnant. I don't know. I don't think that far ahead, but we've certainly reached a point where families are effectively being told they should plan for childcare before they've decided, and that's in a system in 2026 in Australia. I don't think that's really acceptable, and it's a multi-level, mostly federal, but it's also state can contribute. Parents throughout the Macleay are now driving to Port Macquarie, 50 plus k's each way. Others have delayed returning to the workforce entirely because they can't get childcare. Health services, lawyers, teachers, firefighters, the whole lot. We can't get childcare. And even small businesses, they are struggling to recruit people into our area. The skills that we need, it's becoming a chain reaction, and we can't do it because there's no childcare. It disproportionately affects women. Okay, we do have a pay gap, and we need to make sure that we are giving those women the opportunities to return to the workforce if they choose. Also affects fathers, but we don't want to see a disproportionate effect on our females in society. I think the other one that we can help with in a state level is community preschools, and community preschool educators are performing one of the most crucial issues for our families, and they are getting so underpaid, especially when they are compared with teachers in public schools. So the low wages, the increasing regulatory responsibilities and the workforce burnout, these are driving experienced educators away from the profession. They deserve the same strategic planning and long-term investment of other sectors. I think we need genuine pay parity, and it means a targeted capital investment from both the federal and state governments to expand childcare in the regions will be welcomed, and it's actually more than asked for. It's absolutely necessary right now.